As a cruise employee, it's not very odd that I see this all the time, but it is actually true. There are dozens if not hundreds of passengers that stay longer than the usual trip. So what is it actually like to live on a cruise as both a passenger or crew member? We will take a look into the new world of cruising, and eventually we will decide if it is worth paying $30,000 to live on a cruise. I will also try to give my best perspective from both personal experience and the experience of others. So the buzz lately has been about living on a cruise ship, the price, the traveling, and the amenities. The cost of living on a cruise ship as a passenger is way different when compared to living as a crew member. For one, the crew members are paid to live and work on a cruise, as well as passengers who are interested to live on a cruise have to make these arrangements fully committed out of their own pockets. The living situation will also be way different, as crew members do not have the luxury of living in the comfort of suites unless they are of some higher rank, such as the officers, cruise traveling consultants, and guest speakers. So the hype is this: at the cost of about $30,000, you can live a complete vacation, quite literally. This can seem quite a lot for some, as well as can seem like peanuts to others. To those passengers that do opt for living on a cruise, they are typically the ones who find it reasonably cheaper to do so. So this type of offer isn't quite targeted towards the general vacation type of travelers, which leads me into my next segment of who is living on a cruise ship and the demographic it is targeting. So mainly passengers who make cruise their permanent residence are those who can, for one, afford this type of lifestyle. So this can mean people who find no difficulty in splashing the cash for continuous good time, travel, and relaxation. These are also geared towards seniors who rather live on a cruise than to be caught living in a senior's home or even living by themselves. So this is typically the case of the kids moving away and they want the freedom to explore their options without limitations. So what are the actual perks of living on a cruise ship, and why is it preferred? Well, for starters, the travel is quite enticing, and you wouldn't have to continuously unpack and repack and deal with the headache of flight arrangement, hotel stays, and land transportation, and so on and so on and so on. You can basically have all these hassles avoided once you get on board. It is now the life of relaxation, as the crew will take care of everything else for you, all for the price of the amount you would probably pay to rent a condo in New York City on a year-to-year basis. The amenities you would also receive would most probably outweigh the cost of living on board, such as daily cooked meals right around the clock, housekeeping and cleaning service frequently, onboard entertainment, facilities such as pools, gyms, bars, and you can name it. Some cruises even offer learning programs as part of their package, such as language, knitting, or even cooking classes. Another perk is you may feel like part of a whole new family as well and be more recognized by the staff and crew on board. So this sounds all good and well, but there are actually some challenges that comes with living on a cruise ship all day, every day of the week. From personal experience as a crew member, you can sometimes feel a bit, a loss of time and presence. And what I mean by this is most of the times you are unaware of what the day is, sometimes even where you are, as the ship moves around constantly and you wake up in a different location daily. Also, depending on where you travel, you might face new challenges of feelings, like seasickness or even onboard cases that normally spread rapidly. For those who've been on extended periods of cruising, they may know well that sometimes it feels like you've done everything you can and need a new change, as the ship's amenities might be limited due to its own size. So eventually you might feel a sense of being stuck in a repeated cycle. Another thing you should be well aware of is the size of the ship does matter. If you choose to live on board, there's only so much you could do on a daily basis without even feeling some form of mental fatigue. So after learning all of this, is it worth paying the price to live on a cruise? My best answer I can give is try to segment your time on board, as even the crew disembark and goes home to rejuvenate themselves and refresh their minds. If the cruise allow you to spend extended time ashore, this would be a great way to beat the cruise fatigue. But for some, living on a cruise might sound like an absolute nightmare, as cruises are to be just a short experience and just that. If you haven't touched that like button yet, I implore you to do so now and leave a comment if you plan to live on a cruise or have done so before. Also, watch my next video that you may see here somewhere on the screen. It's Unique, your cruise employee, and I'm out.